Hearts left it late to sack Stephen Naismith. Celtic left it late to get past Falkirk. And we're leaving it late with the SPFL review show. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. There's nothing like talking about football on a Sunday night. So let's get into it. We've got a massive weekend of action that took place. We had the domestic stuff in the league format, and then we also had domestic cup action as well. And I guess if your team's pretty poor, then they probably weren't playing cup football, and that explains why Hearts weren't in the cup. But here, we lost in the league anyway, so what does it matter? Stephen Naismith is finally gone, but Hearts should have did this a long time ago. I'd argue he should have went probably after the Celtic game. Hell, maybe even before the Celtic game. The run of form that we've been in has just been abysmal. It's no wins in 16, and I don't know how, well, today was no wins in 17, or was it 16? It doesn't matter, man. I don't know how he stayed this long. I really do not know how he kept his job for so long. That is the kind of form that would get anybody sacked. I don't know if Stephen Naismith had some sort of secret intelligence here on Hearts, if he had plans that he could bring the club down or something along those lines. I really don't know. Finally, though, he's gone. And speaking of being late, yeah, Celtic, what happened today? Didn't look very good. Falkirk were 2-1 up, and I'm sure had Falkirk seen that game out, Big Stevie Cool would be here. We'll get him on the line later, but I'm sure he'd have been here straight from the get-go. He'd have been buzzing to talk about a semi-final lineup at Hampden without Celtic. But unfortunately, Falkirk just couldn't see the game out. Celtic made changes, and when you've got that kind of bench, you know, that's what you can do. You can change the game around, and you can score 4 goals, you know, in the space of about 10 minutes. So yeah, I think Celtic are probably the only team that have a bench where they can just do that, and they've got a squad. You know, that's why you have a squad, so you can fight in different competitions. And I mean, it's undeniable Celtic have the strongest squad available to them right now. But we'll start off in League Two, and we'll work our way up to the Premier Sports Cup. So Clyde 0, Elgin City 0. We draw in there. We had East Fife 2, Peterhead 0. Big win for East Fife. Forfar 2, Stranraer 1. Forfar getting the victory over the boys in Stranraer. They came from a goal behind to win that one by 2-1. We had Bonnyrigg Rose defeating Stirling Albion by 2-0 as well there. So decent wee win for Bonnyrigg Rose. And that was it then. That's your games in League 2. And if we look at the League 2 table, as it loads, we can see that Peterhead are still top despite that defeat. That was their first defeat of the season. But you know, they're still doing a good job. They're still in first place. They're still looking decent. East Fife, though, the team that beat them, they're chasing Peterhead down. Then you've got Elgin, Bonnyrigg Rose, and Edinburgh City. You know, they've got a game in hand to play. A lot of people expected them to be going down, expected them to be cut adrift. They're doing okay at the moment. And if they can win their next game, then, you know, they'll go on to 8 points. So, yeah, Edinburgh City. I mean, I'm kind of cheering for them just because everyone pretty much wrote them off. I'm hoping that they can pull something out the bag here, but at the bottom of the table, it's Edinburgh City, Stranraer, and Forfar, all on 5 points. As we move into League 1 then, Alloa Athletic 1, Hearts 0. Kelty Hearts, that is. If you've got Hearts in your name, you're shite. That's basically what I've learned. If you've got the name Hearts, then you ain't going to win, whether it be Kelty or Midlothian. You know, it doesn't really matter at this point. Alloa with a 1-0 win. Arbroath 2, Annan Athletic 0. Ryan Dow and Gavin Riley getting the goals late on. I believe that is, I think both of them used to play in the Premiership. Ryan Dow, formerly of Dundee United, and Gavin Riley, formerly of Dundee. So, yeah, they're sunk now down to League 1, unfortunately for them. Montrose, a good win against Dumbarton. Kane Hester's goal in the 6th minute was enough for the winner there. Inverness Caledonian Thistle got a draw against Cove Rangers. I'm sure they won't be happy with that result, but you know what? They've had a poor start to the season, so maybe they should be grateful whatever they can get. And Stenhousemuir 0, Queen of the South 0. There was no goals, but we did have a shitload of yellow cards, 9 in total. But yeah, no goals between the two teams. And if we now look at the League 1 table, we can see Alloa Athletic are top with 13 points. Then it's Montrose, Queen of the South, Stenhousemuir, Kelty Hearts, Inverness, Caledonian Thistle on 8 points. Then Cove Rangers, Annan, Dumbarton, and Arbroath are still last despite that win today. It was an important win But at least now, I know they're still bottom, but at least they're not cut adrift. You know, they're now looking at their next game. If they win that, they can, move into the mid-table and possibly even into the top half. So, despite Arbroath still being last, it was an important win for them. I don't think they can afford to go down two successive seasons. That would be a disaster. And, that could be something that the club doesn't recover from. Let's move into the Championship then. Greenock Morton 2, Airdrieonians 0. This is sad because Airdrieonians, arguably for me, I think the last 18 months, the last season and then the second half of the previous season, arguably the club of the country. Arguably the best club in Scotland. I don't mean obviously pound for pound or whatever they're not, but they were overachieving. They managed to fight back in that year in League One. They got the promotion. Last year, they did really well to get into the playoffs. So you look at Airdrieonians over the past 18 months, and they've been great. There's no doubt about that. However, they haven't started this season very well, have they? And it all started, with that 5-0 thumping against Ayr United. Since then, I don't think they've won a game since then, and they've lost to Greenock Morton here. So yeah, not good. Not good at all. Partick Thistle 1, Dunfermline 1. I predicted a Partick Thistle win. It did come late on, thanks to Aidan Fitzpatrick. Dunfermline did get a win last week in the Raith Rovers game, the Fife derby, but it seems like it's back to reality for Dunfermline Athletic, back to losing games. Queen's Park 1, Ayr 1. Queen's Park took the lead. Ayr did come back at them. Ben Dempsey went equaliser. They couldn't get the win though, unfortunately for them, and this could be another 2 points dropped when it comes to this Championship title race with Falkirk, because Falkirk are looking really good right now. I think at the start, everyone was expecting maybe Scott Brown's team. Ayr looked like the team to beat, but I think we've realised over the past maybe month that it might not be Ayr United. It could indeed be Falkirk, because they are looking phenomenal, and if they keep going, they're going to be tough to beat. And then we had Raith Rovers 3, Hamilton 3, and Ollie Shaw goal in the 94th minute, rescuing a point for Hamilton. I mean, Raith Rovers just cannot buy a win right now. I don't know why they sacked Ian Murray, but I think it has come back to bite them on the ass pretty much. 3-3 draw at Starks Park. And they were winning this game 3-1. Yeah, they fell behind early on, but they got level, then they got in front, and honestly, 3-1 up at home, bit of a disaster to draw this 3-3, and I can only imagine that 94th minute goal for Ollie Shaw must have hurt a lot. Anyway, let's move into the Championship League table, and we can see here that Ayr United are now sitting top of the Championship, but they have played 2 games more. So Falkirk are 100% record. If they keep that up over the next 2 games, they will move 6 points clear of Ayr, and that would be crazy. So Falkirk, can they keep going? We'll have to find out. Livy, 2 games in hand over Ayr United as well. If they win both of them, they'll go above Ayr. If they win and draw one, they'll go level with Ayr. So Livy's still up there. Queen's Park, Partick Thistle, much needed win, moving into 8 points. Then it's Queen's Park, Morton, Hamilton, Dunfermline, Raith Rovers at the bottom, man. What's happening with Raith? And then Airdrieonians, like I said, Airdrieonians, it's not good for them. I believe they won their first game and they followed it up with no wins in 5. And they've got the worst goal difference in the league. And yes, the Ayr United game, I guess, kind of, skews those stats a little bit, but still. Look, Airdrieonians expecting to do more than this, expect it to be better than this, and it's been disappointing. So, yeah, I mean, I think you look at Airdrie and Raith Rovers, 2 of the teams that a lot of people expected to be battling for the title, and right now, they find themselves in those relegation spots. Now, it is early days, so I don't think there's any need to panic, okay? You're not going to look at it right now and go, it's time to sack the manager or it's time to give up. Of course not. I mean, we're a couple of games in, essentially, 6 games in. It's a handful of games. But they would have expected better starts than this. And you feel like if they are going to put in... I mean, I'm not even going to say a title fight, because I'm beginning to think that the title's already beyond these teams. But at least if they want to put in a promotion fight, they need to turn this form around. And they need to do it pretty soon. So, yeah, we'll see if they can do that or not. I think that Airdrie and Raith will be okay. I don't see any of these teams going down. I think they're too good for that, but... I mean, in terms of a title fight, I'm just not seeing it anymore. In terms of a playoff spot, I mean, it could happen, but, you've got Ayr looking good, Falkirk looking amazing, Livingston seem decent. There's not many playoff spots there to fight for. I mean, it could be... I mean, it's looking like Ayr, Falkirk, Livy, and then a bunch of teams battling for fourth. That's what it looks like right now. So we'll see if that turns out to be the case or not. But it is time now to move into the Premiership. Let's see if we can get Big Stevie here on the line for this, because I'm sure he'll want to talk about the Premiership. I'm sure he'll want to talk about Celtic beating Falkirk again. Probably he loved that result today. So let's see if he answers here. Nice, he's hiding. Big Stevie hiding. 1872. He's bottled it. He's absolutely bottled it. Look at that. That's the sound of a man running scared right there. That's what that is. Well, he's not here, so we'll just move on then to the Premiership, where the big boys play, aka Hearts, the shitey boys. But yeah, let's look at the Ross County first. Ross County 3, St Johnstone 3. This was a bad result, man, for St Johnstone. On paper, it's a good result, and especially when they went 1-0 down, you offered them a point at that, that point, pun intended, no, that wasn't intended, but whatever. You offer them a point then, and they would have took that 100%, but to go 3-1 up, man, with that Nicky Clark goal in the 84th minute, there's just no way that you would have expected them to throw that away, but they did. Alex Samuel, 87 minutes, got the second goal, and then Akil Wright on the 97th minute, snatching the draw for Ross County. And this is probably one of those results that feels like a win for County and a draw for St Johnstone, even though both teams are picking up 1 point. But here, I mean, it's not the end of the world for St Johnstone. At least they didn't lose. Had they lost this, they would have fell 5 points behind County. And honestly, that could be a lot, because I just don't really see these teams picking up loads of wins this season. But it's a draw, probably the fair result in the end. And I still believe it will be these two battling relegation. But speaking of relegation, it is time to talk about Hearts. St Mirren 2, Hearts 1. St Mirren went in front, Hearts pulled it back, St Mirren went in front again, St Mirren stayed in front. What can you say? 16 games without a win for Hearts. Absolutely bogging. Yes, Stephen Naismith did get sacked today. Haven't really gave my opinion on that yet. I'm glad that he got sacked. Long overdue. But still, I mean, I'm hardly buzzing. Yes, I'm happy that he got sacked, but we're a state right now. Him getting sacked ain't going to add 10 points to us on our league tally, is it? No, definitely not. So, look, getting rid of Stephen Naismith was step one. Well, we need to get the next step right, and the next step right is making a good appointment. I don't want a cheap appointment. I don't want someone who's been passed around Scottish football. A lot of people are saying Derek McInnes and Stephen Robinson. Now, I kind of hold Derek McInnes in a higher regard than Stephen Robinson, and I would accept him. He's the only manager from this current Scottish setup that I would accept right now. I mean, obviously I would take Rodgers, but that's not going to happen. So, I mean, Derek McInnes is the only manager that I would take from the Scottish pyramid, the 42 teams right now. And that's not disrespectful to Stephen Robinson. I rate Stephen Robinson. I think he's done a good job, but I don't want to take a chance on him. I think the next appointment for Hearts is crucial. And I just think we should be aiming higher than Stephen Robinson. For me, he hasn't shown me enough yet. At least with Derek McInnes, I think we've seen that prolonged success that he had at Aberdeen. I think he's done enough to suggest that he, deserves another chance at a top team in Scotland. Stephen Robinson, if he can continue doing what he's doing at St Mirren, then, good for him. But I'm just not quite willing to take that chance on him. Personally, I would like to get someone from abroad. I'd like to do what Aberdeen did and brought in someone like Jimmy Phelan. I think that we were actually looking, when we originally sacked Nielsen, there was speculation of Hearts bringing in Knutson, the Bodo Glimt manager. Now, whether Hearts could afford him or not, I'm not entirely sure. But I think that would be a great appointment. I want someone like that. I want a coach that's coming for Europe, or, he can come from anywhere, to be honest. But I just want someone who is going to come here to win and play good football, a nice style of football, and just not someone that's been passed around and sacked like 3 or 4 times. So, Craig Levein, don't even think about it. Honestly, you can't have the job. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Craigie boy, but you're not allowed the job. So, stay away. Stay away for Hearts. It's as simple as that. But yeah, St Mirren with the win. Congratulations to them. They actually needed this win. It's been a while. It's been, I believe, 7 games without a win for St Mirren. So they needed this. They haven't won since the opening game of the season against Hibernian. So they needed the victory here. And they got it. But, I mean, let's not get too carried away with St Mirren and Stephen Robinson. They got a win against Hearts. Most teams do. You know what I mean? Most teams do. So it's a good victory for St Mirren. But now it's time to see if they can kick on and go on and do a good job. So time will tell. Time will tell whether St Mirren can kick on. Right, let's look at the Premiership table then. You can see that Celtic obviously lead the way. Aberdeen joint with them on points, but have the inferior goal difference by half. So that's a big gap already in the goal difference for both teams. Rangers sitting in third with 10 points, then it's Dundee United with 8. St Mirren now up into 8 points, but played a game more. Then you've got Motherwell, Dundee, Ross County, Hibernian, St Johnstone, Kilmarnock, and Hearts. So, yeah, Hearts and Kelly at the bottom, just in desperate need of victories, desperate need of points. And it's just sad to look at that, man. It hurts. Actually hurts looking at that. 6 games into the season, 1 draw. 1 point out of a possible 18. Doesn't seem real. Seems fictional, but, I mean, it's happening. So, I mean, believe it. Right. Premier Sports Cup, Friday night, we had Motherwell defeating Dundee United by a goal to 0. Zach Robinson, 2 goals to 1, sorry, what am I talking about? Zach Robinson got the goal in the 46th minute, Louis Moult, 83rd minute, equalised for Dundee United, and then Lennon Miller with a late winner in the 91st minute. Good job for him, and he stopped that for going to penalty, so congratulations to Motherwell, they've booked their spot in the next round. Rangers returning to Ibrox, and they got off to a win. Thought it was a decent performance. Can't ask for much more than that. Dundee, I mean, at times troubled them a little bit, but not really much. They didn't offer much of a threat. They got into some good areas and they played some decent football. And I do rate Dundee, but the cutting edge just wasn't there. They'd one great chance from a cross into the box. Can't remember who handled it, but he had to do better, and he put it over the bar. And I mean, that was it, really. That needed to go in. Cyril Dessers, though, 2 goals. I mean, good for him. James Tavernier scores a penalty. Tav does what Tav does. So, I mean, 3-0 win for Rangers. The attendance, though, is showing as 33,000. And you know what? That is fucking shocking. That's a horrible attendance when you consider that Ibrox has been out of commission. Now, I believe that they couldn't have did the full attendance because I think there's still part of the stadium that's shut off. But 33,000, there was notably a lot of empty seats as well around the ground. So, I mean, it is what it is. The win's the main thing, and they got it. So, congratulations to them. Aberdeen defeated the Spartans by 4 goals to 0. Goals for Gay, Nisbet, Clarkson, and Sokler. You just look at this Aberdeen team right now, and it's a solid squad. They look like they have a solid manager, and they're continuing on. Their form is great, whether it be in the league or the cup. They look like a great team at the moment, and you know what? I wouldn't write them off winning the cup. I really wouldn't. I could see them going all the way. They do look like a solid side that will be tough to beat. Attendance, though, pretty damn poor, if you ask me. I get it. It's the Spartans. It's not the most glamorous tie. It's pretty much a bye into the semis, but I mean, support your team. They're playing well. Turn up there. Show it. It's a poor attendance for sure. And then Celtic 5, Falkirk 2. And honestly, man, this looked like it could have went Falkirk's way. Falkirk were playing really well in this game. Obviously 5-2 kind of doesn't tell the full story, because if you look at 5-2, you're just going to assume that, Celtic blew them away. But, I mean, that wasn't the case. Up until the 70th minute, Falkirk were leading. And then some substitutions were made. And Celtic's class, their depth, their quality, showed off in the end. 2 goals from Adam Adair, and then 2 goals from Nicholas Kuhn. And I've been so impressed with Nicholas Kuhn, man. He looks like such a good player. I remember when he was signed, a lot of Celtic fans didn't want him. And even me, I was thinking, why are they signing him? Because they don't really need another winger. I felt like the one position where they had, an overload in players. And then he came in, and he looked shit. He did really look shit, and you thought, well, that was a waste of a couple of million. But ever since the pre-season, ever since I seen him in that game against Man City, I mean, he's been great. He has been great, definitely. Arguably the standout player of the season, maybe, alongside Liam Scales. I think that would be fair to say. So, yeah, look, Nicholas Kuhn. He's playing great at the moment, and there's no doubt that he's that man now. That right side is his. There was debate over, who starts on the right, but for me, there's no more debate. The debating's over. It's Nicholas Kuhn. Kuhn's the man. But give credit to Falkirk, Ross McKeever, and Finn Yates got goals for them. Michael McKenna, seen a late red. And it's kind of sad that Falkirk had to lose by 5-2, because like I said, it's not a fair reflection. But, when you're taking on Celtic, you're taking on the champions, you can get punished at the end of games, and that's what happened to Falkirk. But here, they should be proud of their efforts, because they had a really good game. So, fair play to Falkirk, guys. And then, obviously, in the cup draw, Celtic are taking on Aberdeen. Rangers are taking on Motherwell. Should be 2 good semis. I think Rangers will beat Motherwell. That's an easy prediction. As for Celtic Aberdeen, it's going to be a great game. Now, I believe it's taking place on November 3rd, so somebody's always got to go. Well, doesn't have to go, but the likelihood is they won't still be tied on points. Somebody's record will be gone. Somebody will probably have a defeat. The likelihood is that Aberdeen will be behind Celtic by that time. I think people expect Aberdeen to drop points before they do. But what if that's not the case? What if Aberdeen can continue going? What if they can match Celtic going into that game? Hell, what if they can actually go into the Scottish Cup League semi-final ahead of Celtic in the table? What a predicament that would be. And, that'd be great to see. But Aberdeen, they're looking good right now. I give them credit. I'm not going to make a prediction right now. I'll make a prediction closer to time. But I genuinely feel like Aberdeen can win this cup. I feel like, and if they can beat Celtic, then they can obviously beat Rangers. And if they can beat Rangers, they can obviously beat Motherwell. So, yeah, I think Aberdeen could go all the way. We'll have to wait and see. But that's it. 4 teams remain. Who's going to win the first silverware of the season? We'll have to wait and see. And then you've got to factor in Celtic and Rangers both tied on titles. If one of those teams win the Scottish League Cup, they will be the most successful team from a domestic standpoint, and that's even more bragging rights for whoever can get it. I believe it's 118 right now, so both teams are trying to make it 119. Who'll do it? We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, guys, that's it. Leave a like. Leave a comment. We're trying to get to it. We're trying to get to 200 likes here before we end this video. So make sure you leave a like, and that's it. Catch you in the next one. People that said they wanted more FC 25 career mode, you're going to get it. Don't know how often it's going to be uploaded, but we will aim for at least multiple times a week. We enjoy playing FIFA. We enjoy playing FC. So there you go, guys. Don't need to panic. Our gaming content's not going behind a paywall. So, we're not selling it, guys. That's it. Till next time, Being Fog Football. Looking forward, though, to the league. I'm looking forward to next week and the league getting back to normal and getting a full run of fixtures, because, it is what it is. I just need Hearts to win a couple of games and start bouncing up the league table. Please, for the love of God, beat Ross County. But anyway, that's it, guys. Catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.